I got a story for you that relates to what we were first talking about.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I had a guy approach me, wanted me to scout his property.
Mm-hmm.
The guy has a relatively large property in the hilly area of Wisconsin, and he has food plots everywhere. He had a well-known land specialist already look at it besides me, and that person had him set up some toys for the deer and a bunch of weird scrapes with ropes that move up and down, and um, made some beds for them and stuff. And he went and he put like 40 food plots out besides the crops, and he had I think he had close to 100 cameras out on the property, and he would go out at least once a week and check those cameras on an ATV. He'd run the whole property, and as season would get closer, he'd check them more and more and more. And whenever somebody asks me to scout their properties, I don't have a lot of time, so I pick and choose whose I do, and I question them to see if I want to do it. And one of the questions I asked this guy was why he wanted me out there. He's already had somebody look at the property. Why does he need me to? And his answer was that he was struggling because his neighbors are all shooting big bucks and stuff, and he's not. And he'll get a glimpse of one or two on his cameras every year, but he's not shooting them. And all the money and time he puts in there, why are his neighbors that are not nearly as serious as him shooting these bucks, and what can he do about it? Maybe he can enhance the bedding or something. So I went over there and I looked at his property, and it quickly became evident to me that he goes in and he alters bedding constantly. He's constantly editing his property as if it was like a video, right? So he's in there changing bedding areas. He's in there screwing with the food plots and stuff, and he's in there mostly screwing with cameras. At least from after fall food plotting on, he's just constantly checking cameras and trying to find shooter bucks and develop patterns. And obviously, running 100 cameras, he didn't want to run cell cams. He had some, but he wanted to run regular cams, and he had a worn out road to all these cameras. And literally his neighbor, and this is what was frustrating him, his neighbor was 80 years old, and his neighbor owned a 40 next to his. And it was an open woods that had, he never would allow logging. So he had no food, no cover, no bedding, no nothing. And this old guy would go out there opening day of gun season and sit on a bucket and every year shoot a 160 to 180 inch buck. I mean, he had a few booners on the wall, and they had never shot nothing like that on a farm. And I had to convince this guy that the reason his neighbors were shooting giant bucks like that is because they weren't screwing with the land. They weren't bothering the deer. That mature bucks are ultra sensitive. Now, you could go on this guy's land with his food plots. You could probably sit on any one of those food plots and shoot a 120 or 130 inch buck, easily in the fall. But this guy wanted to step up from that.
Right.
And he couldn't step up from that because of his actions, because it's a different grade of animal when you get up to that, like booner status. And that's where a lot of these guys with the trail cameras and stuff are putting themselves out of the game. They're deciding that all they want to shoot is those 130 class animals. You know what I'm saying? Because of the age class, when they get up to be 5, 6, 7 years old,
yeah,
they are ultra sensitive to your scent, to where you're at, to what you're doing. And they just avoid it. And they would rather go live in that freaking open forest without a stitch to eat than live in that lush food plots, knowing there's some guy there all the time trying to kill them.
Yeah.
So that's what people understand with these cameras and stuff, that cameras are great for learning things. They're great for leaving for a long time. But if you're out there checking them constantly, you're killing yourself for actually being in the game for giant bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, those the big mature deer, they may show up to that guy's lush food plots at night, in the middle of the night, and then make their way back to Grandpa George's 40, for the live the rest of their life.
Right. You can kill good bucks over and over again hunting food plots, hunting funnels, hunting rut funnels. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to ever get a chance at a big buck, you got to hunt big bucks. So you hunt big bucks, and if you're still willing to shoot 130-inch bucks, which I am,
Sure.
if you're still willing to shoot those, go ahead and shoot when one comes by. You're not putting yourself out of the game for that. But by hunting 130-inch bucks, you're putting yourself out of the game for mature bucks. So that's where my dilemmas come in with the overuse of cameras or using them incorrectly. They're a tool, and if you abuse them, I think a lot of people actually have an addiction to cameras. There should be like a Cameras Anonymous, kind of like Alcohol Anonymous. I tell people all the time, you want to mount a picture of the buck on your wall, or you want to mount his head on your wall?